G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the west side of the map, playing in the teal. It's going to be Crackety here on the Chinese. Down on the south side of the map, playing in the orange on the Rus. We've got Mediev. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frissy and Marshes. We're here on the road to Red Bull Wallalol Legacy, and don't we have something absolutely beautiful for you guys today? So, this is the brand new UI that was done by Kush. He's one of the modders in the community, and he has put together this absolutely beautiful UI for us here. And my god, isn't it just everything that you absolutely want when it comes to a actual decent UI? Look at this. I mean, everything is just absolutely perfect. It's going to take time for us to get used to this because you don't have those resources down in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm not going to be able to check villages the way that I typically am. No, instead I'm going to have them up the top here. So let's run through the UI, give you guys a bit of an idea exactly the information that it displays. So we'll go through Crackety's. We'll take a look at what he's got. So you can see he's got 8 villages here on food. You can see how much food he's got in the bank. You can see how much food per minute he's getting. Oh, gee, they said the technology wasn't there. Not in 2022, but no, not today it seems. We can see he's got 11 out of 20 population, 9 villages, 0 idols, 2 military units. I'm assuming this is siege. So this one has been added to the overlay as well. And we've also got relics. So this is relics being carried versus relics inside. So that is all the information that's up here. Obviously, of course, you can also see he's in age 1. You can see his name. You can see his underline in his color. And you've got, of course, his flag. So you know his civilization that he's playing. And, of course, it's got Crackety on the left because that's where he spawned. So I'm assuming that it determines, you know, oh, well, this person spawned on the left, so we're going to put them over on the left. They said the technology wasn't there, but, oh, my lord, was that the case. So what else have we got on the UI? In addition to that, we've also got absolutely every unit. You can see 15 sheep for Crackety, 10 villages with 3 in the queue, 2 scouts and an imperial official. So very, very nice to see just the small little details that are coming in here. And I got to be honest with you guys, I'm loving it. Now, some other things to note is, of course, we've got the down here towards the east side of the map, or the east side of the map, towards the right of your screen. Let's go with that one. We've got our player perspective. So if you're wondering, you know, whose view am I looking at, you can see it down there. Obviously, it's a little bit weird because I've got the mini map here. I've actually had to shrink down my standard mini map. You guys know I like to run with a big old mini map so I can actually see what's going on. I've had to shrink it down a little bit so you guys can actually see the names there. But we'll check in over for Mediev and see what he's up to, because I do see a wheelbarrow is in the queue. Take a look at that. And I guess the great thing about this is that I've also got all of this information on my screen. So typically, I wouldn't have this information on my screen. Typically, it would just be on the overlay, and then you guys would see that. It would be done through OBS, but this is actually all done through the game. So just when they said, you know, and you know what? It pains me because I'm going to have to call the devs out here. I know that they're working on potentially new spectator tools, but the fact that someone from the community is able to come out and put together something that is just so robust, so simple, so easy to use, and yet, you know, this is everything that we need. Realistically, like, short of, you know, the StarCraft-esque, you know, the StarCraft-esque little boxes that you get popped up that say, you know, like, oh, this tech is 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 13 seconds, and it's got the countdown, or, you know, 8 drones lost, 9 drones lost when a big raid happens. You know, short of those sort of dynamic boxes from popping up, we've got everything that we need on this UI. And I'm incredibly impressed by the fact that we've got it. Because, you know, all of the tools were there for the developers, but they've just gone with the absolute bare bones. So, look, I got to call it out. I absolutely cannot stand the UI. I will be so real with you guys. When I actually tried Age of Empires for the very first time, and I jumped in and had a look at the Observer UI, I didn't even complain about it. You know why? Because I genuinely thought it was placeholder UI. I didn't even bring it up. I didn't even say to the devs, like, hey, you need to fix the UI. I was just like, well, obviously they're going to fix this. Like, there's no way that... Well, how wrong I was. Here we are. How many months later? What is it? July right now. So here we are 8-9 months later. And, well, still, you know, we got absolutely shit all. But let's move forward. Let's digress, because we've got the Imperial Academy coming down here for Crackety. He's also going to be dropping down the Barbican. And now people have theorized on this map that the Chinese could be quite a decent civilization just simply because the Barbican's going to allow you to establish very good control over your fish. Now, you can see that Crackety did move forward with this Barbican. Beautiful timing on the Barbican as well. He's going to be looking for a spot. I don't think he's going to even be able to find one out here. You can see him looking to fight over this. Now, one of the things I'm curious to see is whether we're going to be able to see Medihev's bounty. Now, this might have been one of the omissions made here by the creator of this map tool. I can't see the bounty. Now, I could probably check the villages and see what we've got. Nope, you know what? I can't. So there you go. You know, the technology might not actually be there. I'm sure there is actually a way to check it. I'm just a little bit clueless when it comes to this sort of thing. But we can see now that Crackety over towards the opposite side of the map. And I guess the other thing to note is, you know, Imperial officials, that sort of stuff. We're not going to be able to click and cycle through that. Prelates. You know, it's those small little UI things that we're not going to be able to go through. But, you know, it's a work in progress. I know that the developer of this still said that, you know, they don't have things like Sacred Site Timer still. I think it's a little bit difficult for them to do in the actual game. The ability to do it is there outside of the game. Through OBS, as you guys would have seen. But we'll take a look at how Crackety's doing. We'll go from his line of sight and see what he sees. He's got the mill down in the middle of the map. 4 villages out here for the moment. So entering into that Song Dynasty, we do see a second town center coming down for Medihev here. So he's going to be looking to play this game a little bit differently. Not quite the standard game. Now, one of the things to note is that typically you will see the Rus go for a bit more of an H2 orientated play. So whether Medihev actually looks to do that here, whether he looks to invest heavily into his H2, whether he looks to go for a Castle Age play, it remains to be seen. But from everything that we're seeing so far, especially with regard to his wood collection, you would assume that he might actually be thinking about just sticking around in the second age and going ahead. But that's a lot of villages on wood, so who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Crackety over on the other side of the map, though. It's going to be Stone coming in for him. He's got 7 villages at the moment out on here. Out on Stone, 8 villages. You can see it up there. Isn't that beautiful on the UI? It's going to take me a while to get used to it. When it comes to the Imperial officials, he's got 4 of them out. The Imperial Academy acting as that pseudo second town center, at least at the beginning of the first, or the second age, rather. Just got to allow you to pump out those Imperial officials. But let's talk about some of the other changes for China, because obviously they've received quite a few different redesigns. I'm not going to say buffs. I'm not going to say nerfs. I'm just going to say they've been redesigned. So the Imperial Academy definitely did get an objective buff. The ability to train Imperial officials means that now you're going to have those Imperial officials coming out essentially with no idle time on the town center. So you'll probably start off with 1, which I'm assuming Crackety did at the beginning of the game. But now we do see that second town center coming out. And with that, both of these town centers are going to be able to be making villages full time. So that's going to encourage people to move towards that super fast Song Dynasty even sooner than they were doing before. And we saw Crackety here looking to drop that Song Dynasty down at about 5 minutes. So he's going to be super happy in this position, but he is a little bit susceptible down from this south side. And one of the things to note, the town center's got 2,500 health. It didn't always have 2,500 health. It used to have 2,400 health. They didn't mention that. What? They gave the town center an extra 100 health, and they didn't mention it? I'm going to bring this up right now with I can't believe it. I cannot believe it at all. But Crackety looking to save up. Look at the wood he's getting on right now. Now, he's got 2 town center Song Dynasty. The question is, how far does Medihev go? Because Crackety is aware of that. He spotted out the second town center here over on that east side. I guess one of the other things to note is for the engine, we still don't know what Crackety sees and what he doesn't see when it comes to his previous line of sight. We only know what he actively sees and what he actively doesn't see. Barbican going to be firing down upon that early night, getting out some early shots on it. Already got that barracks out, and it looks like Supervisor going to be working its way there. We look at all the spearmen beginning to come out. It's just going to march them over towards that mill, preventing any charges from coming off. Continuing to round out, though, Medihev going to be heading up towards that northern spot. He's got a scout out there. He sees the villagers, or at least sees where the mill is, but yet to put it down. And we see another mill coming out from Crackety, so doing the right thing here, doing a little bit of a frog crawl. I guess you could... A frog crawl? Pub crawl? I don't know exactly what I'm thinking. But we'll check in on Medihev and see how he's going back on his side of the map, as we've now got plenty of production coming out for him. 1, 2, 3 archery ranges and a stable now. So he's definitely looking to commit to this second age play. Blacksmith also. And I love this. I really love this play. The 2 TC into heavy feudal. I think this is definitely the way to go when it comes to the current meta. Obviously, we do see different civs go for different things. We see, as an example, you know, the Holy Roman Empire doing the classic 1 TC play. But here it looks like both players going to be just sticking it to it. You can see Crackety starting to work a little bit on gold as well when it comes to his gold. He's got 1 villager on the gold. Now, I guess another point to make in this. Oh my god, Crackety going for a third town center. How greedy could you be? Look at this. What a spot right here. The dream spot for the town center. Smack bang right in underneath all these shoreline fish. I wonder if this gets... Never mind, it already got scattered out. So now Medihev is going to be aware of the 3 TCs. Now, remember, this is 3 TC Song Dynasty. So if there's any build order that should beat this, it should be 2 TC all in. Because this is, honestly, if you're playing the French, this build order should destroy, or will destroy the Chinese no matter what they do. I'm a strong believer in that China's got pretty much no way that it can hold 2 TC feudal all in. As long as there's a ram timing there to force the issue. And I suspect that there will be here. But I guess the great thing that we've also got here on this UI is that we can actively compare villages at the top of your screen. You can see I can see 53 villages and 4 Imperial officials versus the 47. Now, obviously, you get that displayed up here as well. But that's going to give you just that full economic unit amount, which includes the Imperial officials as well. But very quickly, Crackety is going to begin to climb ahead. But just remember that with these 3 town centers and in the Song Dynasty, he's also going to be pumping in a lot of his food into those villages. But obviously towards the north, he's got this position, such a beautiful spot here as well, this second town center. And it means if he loses the first one, he's still going to be ahead when it comes to the villager curve. So very smart moves from him there. He continues to pull ahead at this point in time. The main issue that he's going to have is just whether he can hold, but he's going for the right composition. We see him going for the classic melee comp, the double melee composition, the spearmen together with the horsemen. It is such a great composition here, and it really gives you it really puts the ball in your court when it comes to micro, because your horsemen are going to be looking to try and hit the enemy archers, and by the same token, your spearmen are going to be looking to connect or make connections with those early knights. The key difference here is that you're not playing up against a French player who's going to have knights that heal. You're only playing against a Rus player, and, well, look, when it comes to these early feudal situations, they're probably not as aggressive as those French players do play. But Medihev moving out over towards this east side. Looks like a lumber or a hunting cabin going to be going down towards the middle. It looks like the knight going to be falling back. My mouse there bugging out. A lot of villagers out in this center pond, and so much food here for Crackety. At the moment, he's got 28 villagers on food, and now looking to get his upgrade. So it's going to be +1 ranged armor coming through first, straight into +1 melee armor as well. So going for that fitted leatherwork. I think that's what it's called, fitted leatherwork. Yeah, fitted leatherwork. And then moving from that into bloomery. So going for that +1 attack. Now remember, he's got the full melee suite here, but we've got the battering rams beginning to come in, and now this is where the question begins. You know, is the timing here from Medihev going to be able to cut it? That is the question, because he's got to be careful. Look at this, a completely uncontested ram going to be coming in. Look how much damage it! Oh my lord, it gets slaughtered. Okay, rams are terrible. Now, obviously, that wasn't the best situation because he just kind of left it undefended, but you could just see how quickly it was shredded by those horsemen. Things were going absolutely terrible for him. Leaves another ram out there on the front side. He's going to try and bait some of those units back towards it. You can see the archer mass continuing to try and fire down upon these units. He's got +1 ranged armor, +1 ranged attack, or rather +1 melee attack, and +1 melee defense. So he's A-okay up against these units, continuing to push through, compared to only the +1 ranged attack that Medihev's got on his units. But a great little cleanup here. I got to say, I'm impressed with Crackety here. These are some absolute insane early openings here from Crackety, and he continues to push through. Back on that south side, though, the battering ram going to be opened up, and you can see it just getting chased away there. Not a lot of health on that bad boy, only 420. And look at the horsemen. They actually charge on it and just do so much damage, because they get a bonus against siege, don't they? Yeah, they get 10 versus siege. Oh, God, they're doing 20 damage a pop to that. That is absolutely wild how much damage they do. Jeez, it is not a good time to be a battering ram. It is not a good time to be a battering ram. Looks like Medihev now going to be dropping down barracks, which can only mean one thing, and we take a look at his resources, and we hear that sound. He is going up to the next age. Now, the question is, where is he going to be going, though? Looks like it's going to be the Abbey of the Trinity in the back of the base. He's got a beautiful spot here for a high trade house if he wanted to go for it. Honestly, I would be going high trade house right there and just make the monastery at the front. I think that'd be a much better deal. But now those horsemen are going to begin moving forward. Crackety here He's stacking up resources as well. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention and talk about was the Imperial officials and the way that changes the economy for the Chinese player at the moment. So remember that with the Imperial Academy coming out, it means you're getting your Imperial officials out earlier. And with your Imperial officials coming out earlier, that means you're going to be collecting more gold earlier. So one of the things I've seen from a lot of Chinese players, and I'm seeing it here from Crackety, is a huge surplus of gold. People are still yet to adjust to the Imperial officials and just how much gold they gather up. Now, keep that in mind. The Crackety's also got the upgrade for them, which increases the amount of gold that they can carry. You can see this one right here. Beautiful. I love this. 79 out of 80 gold. He's going to go over here and grab 1 tax gold off the blacksmith, put that bad boy on cooldown as well. Now he can't collect the 27. It's a classic Imperial official move. They love to do that. You know, you wouldn't think that if something's at quite literally 99% capacity that you'd drop it off at the town nearest drop-off location. No, sorry, Bob. And you can see it. There's 78 coming in here. Oh, thanks for putting my lumber camp on cooldown. It's just a beautiful mechanic. I love it. Now this lumber camp's on cooldown for another 15 seconds. Wonderful. I didn't want to collect the 340 tax gold in there anyway, you stupid fucking Imperial official. God, I hate this unit. It is so freaking stupid, so dumb. Just the most unintelligent thing there is. But I guess I digress. The gold is pretty decent though. The gold's pretty good. Archers pushing forward. Age 3 coming through for both players. Now, Crackety got to be on the defense here. Yet to get any upgrades. We can see that he's got a nest of bees in queue as well as that veteran, the veteran horseman. It's going to be coming through now. Still no +1, 107 villagers, so a decent number for him compared to only 78 from Mediev. He's got to be careful not to lose these forces before he engages. And this could be a really difficult point to fight off right now for Crackety. Ideally, what he wants to do is avoid fighting. You can see the way that he's fighting in here. This is not the right thing. Just let your enemy kill these buildings. It's okay. Let them take their time. You want to fall back underneath the town center where you've got this ability to sort of create a bit more of a concave. But now that nest of bees is going to be coming out, looking to tee off down upon those units, getting some decent shots there. Looks like he's going to be able to land a decent volley there. We'll enter into the cinematic mode as the nest of bees looks to hold a little bit longer. Things looking good for Crackety. We'll bring you back in. Up towards the north. A raid going to begin. Triple granary is up for him. A lot of villagers moving up towards those farms. Being chased out by the horsemen as well. Nest of bees continuing to fire off. Look at the chat go. Just absolute beast mode right now. He's only got one of them, but I suspect a couple more are going to be coming out, and indeed they are. Crackety, plenty of resources in the bank. Could be looking at another 2 or 3 of these bad boys out shortly, but you can see up towards the north side, horsemen struggling quite a lot with these knights. Knights do plenty of damage. Palace guards coming out though in serious numbers. Granary just popping off right now. I want to check in on the mill and see what the upgrades are for him. I suspect he's only got the +1. Where are the mills at? Over here. Yeah, he's only got the +1 at the moment, so still yet to get that +2. Now, we can't actually see the upgrades just yet, and to be honest, I kind of like it that way. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really like having it clutter up the screen the same way that we had it at N4C and Golden League and that sort of thing. I kind of like this. It's a little bit quieter, a little bit shallower. Now, Crackety going to begin stonewalling the center. In classic China style, he looks to try and control the narrative a little bit, prevent those attacks from coming through, and doing the right thing, just making sure a lot of villagers are coming out here and doing so. So he's working on that wall, looking to try and get it up. Still booming to his heart's content. 127 versus 80 at the moment. That is the difference. I'm impressed that he held with the 3 town centers. And take a look at this. Just the way that he's using these food resources. Where are you going, villager? Are you coming down to make a farm or something? That's quite a long distance farm, and I suspect we'll see another mill up there. Also, we're hearing relics getting picked up over on the other side of the map. Knights moving out. So it's going to be 5 relics probably going over towards Mediev. You can see the Abbey of the Trinity just chilling back for the moment. You can see the 3 relics still out on the map, including this one in the base of Crackety. Plenty of villagers up towards this northern position. The Knight coming out as well. Not a lot of units up here. Oh, villagers rallying across the map. That's where he's going. So it's the villagers going down to the stone outcropping. Stonewall continuing to come up. He's managed to get it up. I love how one villager always finds its way onto the other side of the wall. I don't know how it does it, but sometimes these villagers, they're only intent on getting themselves killed. And look, when you drop yourself over on that other side, you definitely do it. But up towards the north, villagers going to be going down now. Obviously, Crackety's sitting on 140 villagers. He doesn't really mind if he loses 5 or 6, and obviously in Song Dynasty as well. So he's going to be able to pump those bad boys out. I'm looking forward to seeing Yuan Dynasty. I don't know if we're going to see it, but I've got a feeling that we will. Yuan Dynasty for Fire Lancers is actually pretty decent. The only thing that beats Fire... There it is. Yuan Dynasty coming through. Yuan Dynasty might actually be decent. Just a very small change to the Fire Lancers, just an increase of the speed is all they needed to make them all of a sudden actually pretty decent. So with the Yuan Dynasty coming through, it's going to mean that you lose your bonuses in the Song Dynasty, which we can't actually see now that I realize. So interesting. Maybe there's a sort of a panel that enables you to have those sorts of things, you know, Imperial official numbers, Song Dynasty information, but he's going to be losing that, and he's going to be picking up the Yuan Dynasty, which is going to be increasing the movement speed of all of his units, I think except for Siege. It doesn't increase the movement speed of Siege. We can actually check that now. You can see 0.81 movement speed and 1.38. So 0.81 and 1.38. So it's going to buff up the Palace Guards, but it's not going to buff up the Nest of Bees. But hey, that is absolutely fine. These Palace Guards already move so damn fast, and when you get that Yuan on top of it, it is going to make it even faster. Yeah, 0.81, and then we go from 0.138. Look at that, 0.158. And now more walls coming in as well for Crackety. He's looking to wall the entire bloody map. Look at him go. Beginning to push forward the Palace Guards. And don't they look so good in the teal as well as they continue pushing forward? Now we'll ride on board with Medihev and see how he reacts to this. He's got 92 villagers, so villager numbers aren't the best. Abbey of the Trinity going to be back here, gathering up all those resources. You can see he's got plenty of villagers down here as well. He's going to be careful not to lose them. Fourth relic might be on the way back in. We'll double check and see how many we got out on the map. It's going to be out there somewhere. But Crackety going to be looking to age up now. He's actually just sieging down the Abbey of the Trinity. Very interesting choice here. So by taking out the Abbey of Trinity, his enemy is going to have to move these relics over to this monastery. It's going to take time. It's going to take energy. So super smart move, cuts off the economy at least for the next, you know, maybe minute or two. It's a little bit of gold. It's kind of annoying. You got to repair this back up. So smart moves coming out from Crackety. I do like this little bit of a fake out, but the archer number's starting to look decent. 27 and 10 crossbows at the moment for Medihev. He's holding on, but the population difference is starting to really show itself here. You can see that he's going to be able to clean up this position, so manages to survive, but I've got other fears. You know, we talked about it a little bit earlier, the Yuan Dynasty. Is there potential that we see Fire Lancers? Is there potential that we do see Fire Lancers? They are unlocked now that Crackety is in the Yuan Dynasty. And he is going to be going up. Where is it? It's got to be out here, right? Oh, it's up towards the north. Look at this. The Great Wall Gatehouse is coming up towards this northern sacred site. No, tell me it ain't so. What an absolute beautiful bit of madness we are beginning to see. Look at the way that he's defending this. He's got berry bushes here. He can't actually wall up this sacred site. He's going for a sacred site victory, and he's going to defend it using the Great Wall Gatehouse. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a new thing that goes brrr. It's the Great Wall Gatehouse. Trebuchet is going to be looking to take it out, though, as they continue to move up in that northerly direction. First sacred site going to be under pressure. You can see he's got plenty of line of sight down here from that Imperial Palace. There it is. Oh, look at it go. Look at it go. There we go. You know we got to get that one in. Did you guys see it firing off those shots? Look at it go. The Great Wall Gatehouse is here, and it means business villages going down. How much range does that have on it? It's got 10 tiles of range. But the push going to be coming in now. You can see the boulders getting thrown out by Medihev. Just looking to try and dish out plenty of damage in this center. Villagers out here as well going to get caught. Crackety sitting on 152 villagers right now. It's a little excessive, Crackety, a little excessive. Medihev on the other side, though, 18 population in the siege. You can actually see it there represented as the 18th siege. But Crackety might be in a bit of trouble here. We can see that he's definitely underestimated the push potential from his enemy. And now, I mean, the Great Wall Gatehouse might be the last line of defense for him up on this northern position. We'll have to watch and see how he plays it, though, as he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. We can see 15 Palace Guards at the moment in queue. He's got elite Palace Guards coming through, as well as the battle-hardened upgrade as well. It should be, yeah, there it is. So not too long before that bad boy comes in, but he's looking to spam those out. We've also got a monk coming in towards that position. Trebuchet is going to be firing off on the Barbican. Barbican does have the Springald emplacement. Springald emplacement is out for the Barbican. Let's see if we can spot it. There it goes. You guys saw the Springald emplacement. Barbican means business now. Still yet to get that cannon emplacement. Medihev definitely got to be looking decent here. He's got a lot of landmarks to kill, though. But I got to be honest with you guys. China is a lot more entertaining to watch it be played this way. Pagoda's going to come down now. Looks like 2 relics have been picked up for Crackety, so not a bad amount considering your enemy went Abbey of the Trinity and they were up before you. Man-at-Arms going to be moving through towards that farmland, and if they get through to the heartland, the farmland, that's when things start to get a little bit worrisome for Crackety, because that's where all of those units are going to be. It pains me that the Great Wall Gatehouse is yet to get a real debut here. We saw it firing off towards the villagers, but the trebuchets going to be more than capable. Oh, we got Palace Guards doing a little bit of a run-by down here. Crackety just going to be running into the economy, overwhelming his enemy. At the same time, there's plenty more Palace Guards back here. We can see him moving down, just going straight for run-bys, heading straight for the villagers. Look at him, he doesn't even care. He's just going straight in there. And remember, does he have... Let's double-check and see. It's coming through right now, Elite Army Tactics. So he's going to be able to overwhelm his enemy. Mediev still stuck in H3. We do see that gate going down, and with it, he takes out the walls on either side. Palace Guards looking to try and go toe-to-toe with the men-at-arms here. Got plenty more health, plenty more attack, and obviously plenty more upgrades as well with that Elite Army Tactics coming through shortly. He's going to be able to overwhelm his opponent. Look at this, just no walls coming up. This is the consequence of no walls. Even if you think you're on the defense or on the offensive, you know, the best defense, it's a good offense, that old thing, you still want to wall up behind it, because if you don't, and good game gets called. Crackety here going to be able to take this one. Oh, you know, you want it. I really want to put it on the thumbnail, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. The Great Wall Gatehouse. I mean, it goes brrr, doesn't it? But it just didn't go brrr enough this game. Fellas, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.